Oh, man.
Slippery here again.
Poor fuck.
Hey, creep. Say goodbye to your pretty life soon.
Don't even think about it.
At the high school, a group of boys were brutally threatening their classmate, Gyu Jin. The reason? He had failed to take the obscene photographs of schoolgirls they had demanded.
Not a single one of these is worth selling for shit. How long are you gonna take worthless photos like these, huh?
Just then, his friend, Dong, came running, panting heavily. He too had been punished. The bullies had warned him that unless he brought them cigarettes, his friend would continue to be beaten. Behind this entire vile act stood Jun. His only goal was to save enough money to buy a motorbike. For that, he sold indecent pictures of schoolgirls online and forced others to create fake social media accounts for him. Both Gyu Jin and Dong had grown completely weary of his oppression. At school, crushed by despair, Gyu Jin even tried to take his own life. But at that very moment, a message arrived from the head bully, demanding that he bring his mother's ID card to a nightclub. That evening, Gyu Jin went to his mother's shop with the intention of stealing her ID. But his conscience stopped him. Instead, he took 50,000 won from her purse and went to the nightclub to meet the bullies. Standing before them, he explained firmly,
My mom, she works so hard.
I cannot bring her ID. In response, Jun beat him mercilessly and threatened him coldly. You must bring that ID, or I will kill you.
Is that a yes or a no?
Don't make me angry!
The next morning at school, Dong was dragged into the bathroom, his face pale with fear. Things had escalated far too much. He was forced to beat Gyu Jin himself and was told to pass on the same threat. Bring your mother's ID tomorrow. At lunchtime, Gyu Jin was humiliated yet again. They dumped food all over his head. Without protest, he endured the abuse, wrung out his soaked shirt, and changed clothes in silence. As he looked up frustrated, he saw Dong rushing to deliver something to the bullies. In his haste, Dong stumbled. Their eyes met briefly, but neither spoke a word. Believing he could escape the torture, Gyu Jin stopped attending school, but peace never came. The bullies continued harassing him with threatening text messages, warning that if he did not bring his mother's ID, they would go directly to her restaurant. With no choice left, Gyu Jin reluctantly prepared to return to school. Then, a courier arrived with a package. Inside was a gun. Gyu Jin stared at his reflection in the mirror, a sinister smile spreading across his face. The next morning, the head bully cornered him again at school. This time, Gyu Jin shoved his hand away and said coldly,
Why should I?
Before he could enter the classroom, the bully grabbed him and slammed him against the door, continuing to threaten him. He warned that if Gyu Jin didn't obey, he would post the obscene pictures online. Finally, the bully released him. When Gyu Jin entered the classroom and sat down, the bully continued to provoke him, demanding answers.
Since when do you think you have a choice?
And even pulling out a paper knife to intimidate him. Unable to bear it anymore, Gyu Jin suddenly stood up, startling everyone. The teacher rushed over to ask what was happening, but Gyu Jin, completely losing control, screamed, hurled the desk, and shouted wildly. That moment marked the final breaking point. Later in the cafeteria, the bullies once again dumped a tray of food on his head. When the teacher asked what was going on and if he was all right, Gyu Jin replied sarcastically,
Do I look okay?
Before grabbing his tray and storming out. That night, a car pulled up in the middle of a deserted street, right in front of a late-night diner, where Gyu Jin and Dong were having a meal. A mysterious man sat inside the car, silently watching them, clearly planning something. Dong admired Gyu Jin's bravery, and Gyu Jin smiled faintly. But suddenly, a massive street brawl erupted outside. Dozens of men were throwing punches. The mysterious man glanced up at the shooting range above the street, walked in, grabbed a BB gun, and returned to the fight. When the thugs demanded, Who are you? He replied, I'm Moonbaek, before mercilessly beating them all. Amazed, Gyu Jin rushed to him and asked if he could teach him how to shoot.
What you just did, can you teach me how?
Without a word, Moonbaek led him upstairs to the shooting range. As he squeezed the trigger, Gyu Jin felt confidence for the first time, firing multiple magazines into the targets as though relieving all the anger and suffocation in his heart. That night at home, Gyu Jin greeted his mother quietly and went straight to his room. The next morning, as he prepared to leave for school, his mother asked,
I'll buy your favorite meat for dinner.
Without speaking, he turned, hugged her tightly, and left. Something ominous was about to happen. When he reached school, the bullies were already planning new ways to make him suffer. Meanwhile, Detective Lee called his partner, ordering him to head immediately to Gyujin's high school. One of the addresses in his case file belonged to a student who was suspected of having a gun. His partner made a U-turn and speed off.
Hey, turn around. Head for Cheonggil High School.
Lee then called the school, informing them of the threat. The teacher promised to call back, but said she had an urgent matter to attend to. At that point, every exit gate of the school had been locked. Students and teachers alike were distressed. On the other side of the building, Yongdong was once again being beaten. The bullies demanded to know where he had disappeared to for 20 minutes. As they struck him repeatedly, Gyujin appeared, rushing to help. He reached for his bag, but to his shock, Seongjun had already taken the gun. Believing it to be fake, Seongjun pointed it at him. Gyujin broke into a cold sweat, trembling as he begged, "Don't pull the trigger." Suddenly, gunshots rang out from the adjacent classroom. Yongdong's head was covered in blood. Transformed by rage, he showed no mercy. Those who had tormented him were silenced one by one. Seongjun turned pale with fear, knowing he had been the worst offender. But instead of killing him himself, Yongdong gave Gyujin the chance. By then, Yongdong had already locked every exit. No one could escape. The police were notified. Detective Lee and Moonbag rushed to the scene, breaking through glass doors to rescue students. Lee ran inside while Moonbag noticed a student holding a revolver but deliberately ignored him. Inside, chaos continued. Many students hid in the library, but Yongdong found them.
I know you're in here, so come out.
Consumed by rage, he even attacked teachers, declaring that he had begged for their help countless times, but they had never listened.
You never did anything for me!
His life had been destroyed, and now there would be no mercy. At one point, a student revealed the location of one of Seongjun's friends. Armed with a shotgun, Yongdong stormed in. The boys hiding behind the shelves trembled as he fired mercilessly. Seongjun managed to escape temporarily, but it was clear his end was near. Lee and Moonbaek followed the gunshots, finally cornering Yongdong. Just as he was about to finish Seongjun, Lee arrived, disarmed him, and captured him. He emptied the shotgun and assured the terrified students, "Everything is fine now.
That's a relief.
It's over." But it wasn't. Suddenly, another gunshot echoed. This time, Seongjun was staring down the barrel of Gyujin's gun. Lee froze. If he moved, Gyujin would fire. Moonbaek stood behind him, smiling like a devil. A flashback revealed the truth. Moonbaek had seen Gyujin with the gun earlier. He could have stopped him, but had chosen not to. Lee tried desperately to stop him. "Gyujin, don't do this. Killing him will only destroy you." Tears streamed down Gyujin's face.
It's too late.
It isn't too late.
Lee said firmly.
Then I'll be able to help you.
But first,
You need to put the gun down.
with trembling hands, Gyujin finally lowered the weapon. Lee moved closer, gently taking the gun from him. Hugging him, he whispered, "You did the right thing. Don't cry." But when Lee glanced up, he saw Moonbaek still standing there, smiling coldly, as if he had orchestrated everything. Something clicked in Lee's mind. Outside, police rushed injured students to the hospital. Yongdong has been arrested by the police. Gyujin too was taken away. He sees Moonbaek sitting there as if he were expecting Eugene to hurt his classmate. Eugene's mom rushes to the scene. Seeing his mom standing there crying, he's relieved that he didn't hurt his classmate earlier, that there's still a chance to fix things. Lee's eyes once again found Moonbaek. He sat calmly, still smiling faintly, as if he had known all of this from the very beginning. Now, remembers everything Moonbaek has been doing. He recalls that the student was a high school student holding a gun in his hands to the list that contained the names of all delivery addresses was thrown away by Moonbaek. Suspicious, Lee sent a text. "Once the situation is secured, arrest Moonbaek." But before the police could act, Moonbaek vanished without a trace, and Gyujin wasn't Moonbaek's only victim. It all started with Yong, the first one bullied by his classmates.
Hey, I told you not to barge into my class. Do you see how terrible he is? Why he fails the exam every year.
Oh, I feel better now.
He He was an introverted, shy Korean high school student. Every day, his classmates bullied him. Not because he was invisible, but because he was an easy target. They humiliated him, mocked him, pushed him to the edge. He suffers from chronic anxiety, panic attacks, and something darker. He visits a psychiatrist, sits across from him, barely holding it together.
As time goes on, this guy and this guy are constantly at war with each other. I find it confusing.
Taking your meds like I told you to.
I get too sleepy.
We all struggle with emotions.
When I take those meds, I'm not able to study. If I fail the exam again, it'll be my 10th year.
Compulsion, anxiety, depression.
He tells the doctor, the pills don't work, the medications, the therapy. None of it stops the screaming in his head. He's losing control day by day, thought by thought. The doctor listens, then gives the same old advice.
So am I normal if I have these thoughts?
Only if this guy listens to this guy, and if you keep them both in control.
Relax. Avoid stress. Stay on your meds. But that's easy to say when you don't live in a war zone. Young returns to his dorm. He shares the apartment with other boys from his school, but it doesn't feel like home. It feels like hell. He tries to study, to focus, to breathe, but the walls are thin on the other side. Chaos. His classmates are laughing, screaming, blasting games, watching movies, partying like the world belongs to them. And for a moment, Young tries to ignore it, but something snaps. He walks out of his room, knocks on the first door. He asks one of them politely to turn it down just a little. The guy turns to him, smirks, and says,
You know the guy in Unit 306? Keep hearing a woman moaning in his room. Like he's sneaking his girlfriend in.
Hey, all right, you're like a broken record, you know that?
If a rule's been made, then it should be followed, so why?
Listen to me, man. You can't stay cooped up in your room all fucking. Go outside and you gotta lighten up. Stop being so lame.
He'll play as loud as I want, then goes right back to shouting into his headset. No respect, no care, no humanity. Young clenches his fist but walks away. He knocks on another door. A second boy is inside, gaming, smoking, breaking every rule in the dorm. Young tells him to keep it down to stop, but the guy laughs in his face, blows smoke toward him and says, "Come here again, and I'll kill you." The hallway goes silent. Other students peek out, watching Young like he's a bug under glass. The boy goes back inside, still yelling, still laughing, like nothing happened. And Young just stands there, humiliated, his mind spinning, his chest burning with rage and shame. He walks back to his room, his hands trembling. He doesn't turn the lights on. He drops to his knees, pulls up the wooden board under his bed, and they're wrapped in cloth. Our weapons, makeshift knives, a hammer, and a gun. He unwraps the pistol, slowly. Holds it in both hands, his breath shallow, his thoughts spinning like a hurricane. He walks to the wall, the thin, hollow wall on the other side. That boy is still laughing, still playing. Young lifts the gun, points it straight ahead. His finger hovers on the trigger, but he can't do it.
Hey, loser, shut up!
He drops the gun, falls to the floor, his whole body shaking. He could have done it, but something stopped him. He doesn't know if it was fear or morality or just the last shred of humanity he still has left. So he leaves. He walks to a small restaurant nearby, a quiet place, dark, empty. He sits in the corner, hoping for peace. He orders a simple meal, starts eating slowly, calmly. Then they arrive, a group of teens, loud, drunk, obnoxious. They sit near him, laughing, screaming, lighting cigarettes, ignoring every rule on the wall. Young stares at his food, then stares at them. His appetite dies instantly. He stands, throws the meal in the trash, then walks past the group. He doesn't say a word, just points at the sign on the wall. No smoking, no drinking, no yelling, then walks away. The teens look at each other confused. Some laugh. Others whisper they think he's crazy. Young walks back to the dorm. The streets are quiet, but his mind isn't. He replays the moment over and over, the threats, the laughter, the smoke in his face, the cold eyes that told him he doesn't matter. He enters his room again, sits down, tries to study, but the chaos hasn't ended. From the room next door, he hears them. His neighbor in the dorm with his girlfriend this time, moaning, screaming, laughing in passion. They don't care about anyone else. They never did. Young covers his ears, closes his eyes.
Shut up, for fuck's sake! I'm right next door!
Tears through the dorm. The screaming stops, replaced by gasps. A girl cries. Blood hits the floor. Young walks to the room, kicks the wall, smashes it open. The girl's hand is shaking as she tries to call the police. He grabs the phone from her, puts it to his ear, and calmly says,
Oh, no, don't call me sir. I was gonna call you guys soon anyway. I'm at Yongsong on the 3rd floor of Tomorrow Karaoke at the intersection next to the... Because I've already pulled the trigger.
I killed them. His voice cold flat. I'm the one you're looking for, come get me. He hangs up, then he raises the gun again, points it directly at the boy, the one who was just seconds ago lost in pleasure.
Motels aren't even that expensive. This is on you.
And without a word, he pulls the trigger. Blood sprays across the floor. The girl screams. Yong doesn't flinch. The gun is still warm in his hand and he's not done. Someone opens the door behind him, a classmate. He saw everything. Yong turns, shoots him once. The boy screams, runs. Yong reloads, walks after him. He follows the blood trail, corners the boy at the end of the hallway. He begs, "Please don't, please!" Yong lifts the gun. The boy's head vanishes in an instant. Another classmate in the next apartment hears the gunshots. He picks up his phone, panicking, starts to call the police. But the moment he dials, his door bursts open. Then turns back to the boy he shot earlier, the one who was still alive, crawling, crying. He walks up slowly. The hallway is soaked in blood. He kneels, presses the barrel to the back of the boy's head, and ends it. No hesitation, no mercy. This isn't about justice anymore. This is revenge. This is pain turned into fire. He loads the gun again, walks through the dorm step by step.
Which one of you fuckers ate my myorchijori?
But what truly broke him didn't start tonight. It began years ago, in the dark corners of his mind. Memories return. He was just a kid. A terrorist attack ripped his entire family away in front of him. He sat alone in a cold police station, covered in blood, trembling while officers tried to get answers. He saw a gun on the officer's belt, and something in him changed. From that moment, his obsession with weapons began. Not because he wanted power, but because he never wanted to be helpless again. He found out who was behind the attack. Without hesitation, he picked up a gun.
Detective Shaw! The kid has a gun! Don't do it! Nobody move! Come on. Shut your fucking mouth! What are you waiting? Go!
Back to the present. The dorm is silent, but not for long. Yong begins moving through the halls, room by room, finding the students who used to laugh at him, mock him, bully him. He doesn't care who they are anymore. To him, they're all the same. He shoots them one by one, methodical, emotionless. Screams echo through the building, doors slam. Some students try to hide, others don't get the chance. The police receive dozens of emergency calls. The building is marked as active shooter. They rush toward it, sirens screaming through the night. The first officers enter cautiously, guns drawn, stepping over bodies, blood painting the floors. Inside, Yong reloads his weapon, walks toward the sound of footsteps. The officers shout, demanding he drop the gun and surrender.
What?
But he doesn't listen. He fires first. Chaos erupts. Bullets fly both directions. One officer is hit, another drags him to safety. The police fall back, realizing this isn't just some angry kid. He's trained, cold, deliberate. Then Officer Lee Do arrives, a former general, decorated and fearless. He steps out of the van, studies the scene, then enters the building alone. Inside, he can hear the gunshots and screaming, but he keeps moving forward. He knows Yong isn't just lashing out. This is calculated, personal. He comes up with a plan. Turn off the lights, disorient him, force him to waste bullets. As darkness consumes the hallway, Yong panics for the first time. He starts firing in all directions, blind, trying to hit what he can't see. His breathing sharpens, movements clumsy. The silence feels louder than the shots. Then, from the shadows, Lee Do moves in slowly, ready to end it before more lives are lost. Lee Do reaches the building, his boots echoing down the hallway as gunfire rings out from deep inside. Yong is still inside, shooting wildly, screaming, unleashing years of rage and pain with every pull of the trigger. The officer doesn't wait. He moves forward, sharp and focused. He knows he's not facing an ordinary student. He makes a plan. Shut off the lights, blind him, make him waste his bullets. In a split second, the dorm goes dark. Yong freezes, startled. His hands start to shake. The silence crushes him. Then he snaps, opening fire in every direction, shooting blindly, panicked, confused, unloading his weapon with no target in sight. His breath grows heavier, steps frantic as he stumbles through the darkness, not knowing where the enemy is or where the end will come from. Yong keeps moving through the dorm like a shadow of death, shooting everything in his path, blind to who's in front of him. Bullets rip through walls, doors, flesh. He doesn't stop, doesn't think. Another officer appears, frozen in fear, as Yong turns to him and raises the gun. But just before he pulls the trigger, Li Du charges in from behind, grabbing Yong by the head with both hands and slamming it into the concrete wall. The impact is brutal. Yong's body goes limp, the gun falls to the floor, and for the first time, silence returns to the building. Backup rushes in. Police swarm the dorm, securing the scene. Paramedics begin treating the injured. The dead are counted, and the blood-soaked nightmare finally comes to an end.